Stars of the small screen are gearing up for the Emmy Awards, which will take place in Los Angeles later. The ceremony comes after a year of increased TV viewing prompted by lockdown restrictions around the world. The Crown and The Mandalorian lead this year's nominations, while Ted Lasso and The Queen's Gambit are also expected to perform well. Cedric the Entertainer will host the ceremony, which will see many of the nominated stars attend in person. Last year, comedian and talk show host Jimmy Kimmel hosted a largely virtual ceremony amid coronavirus restrictions. Here are 7 things you need to know ahead of the ceremony. All 3 of the big winners at last year's Emmys are absent this year. That's because Succession had a year off during the pandemic, Schitt's Creek ended after its 6th season, and Watchmen did not have plans to continue after its first series. That has left room for plenty of new TV shows to make their mark. In fact, 4 of the best comedy nominees this year have been recognized for their first season: Ted Lasso, The Flight Attendant, Hacks, and Emily in Paris.
Ted Lasso in particular is a red-hot favorite, having made history for the most nominations for a new comedy. You can measure the love for the show by the fact that so many of its actors have also been individually nominated. The show's 4 nominees in Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy mean Ted Lasso has equaled a record set by Modern Family. The highly respected actor, known for such roles as Omar Little in The Wire and Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire, died earlier this month, aged 54. Williams, who had previously been nominated at the Emmys but had never won, is up for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama at Sunday's ceremony for his performance as Montrose Freeman in Lovecraft Country. Posthumous wins in Hollywood aren't as common as you might think. It was only 5 months ago that Sir Anthony Hopkins won the Oscar for Best Actor, a trophy that had been widely expected to be won by the late Chadwick Boseman. If Williams does win, he'll become only the 7th posthumous winner in the Emmys' 73-year history, following on from Ingrid Bergman, Audrey Hepburn, Raul Julia, Diana Hyland, Marion Lorne, and Alice Pierce. During Friends' 10-year run, Cox was the only member of the 6 principal stars not to receive an Emmy nomination for her performance, which is baffling. As Ross's sister, Chandler's wife, and Rachel's best friend, Monica was right at the center of the show. When every single cast member was nominated but me, it definitely hurt my feelings, she said earlier this year. I was happy for everybody, and then when it was finally like, oh, I'm the only one? It hurt. This year's Emmys have changed that, although it's only on a technicality. Cox has a nomination because she is listed as one of the executive producers of Friends, The Reunion. Honestly, I am so happy that The Reunion has been recognized because I think it's terrific, she told Entertainment Weekly. Ben Winston did a great job, and all of his crew. Revealingly, though, she went on to add, "That's not exactly the Emmy I was looking for. I'm being honest with you. The tea leaves don't look great." 3 of the 4 awards Friends, The Reunion was nominated for were handed out at the Creative Arts Emmys last weekend, and it lost all 3. But it could still win Outstanding Pre-Recorded Variety Special on Sunday. Friends isn't the only TV reunion nominated in that category. Last year's one-off West Wing special, which encouraged people to vote in America's 2020 election, has also been recognized. We're really starting to feel sorry for Emily in Paris. The hugely successful but critically panned TV series was already put through the ringer when it was nominated at the Golden Globes in February. Back then there was a social media backlash, and even one of its writers said she couldn't understand how it had scored nominations when I May Destroy You hadn't. Yet while Emily in Paris might have been a bit trashy and full of cliches, some commentators have noted it did provide us with some fun escapism during a tough time. "It is not a good show in any way," said Kristen Baldwin of The Awardist. "It is entertaining, but it is not good." So to see it up against comedies like Hacks or Pen 15, which are incredibly original and entertaining, is really shocking. But what I will say is that I do think Emily in Paris served a purpose at a very specific, vulnerable time for us as a people. October 2020, for several months of the pandemic, We all needed its stupidity deeply and it entertained us at that time. Not because we think Lin-Manuel Miranda's musical isn't worthy of recognition, but because of the loopholes that have allowed it to be nominated. Let's first clarify what it is. This is a recording of the Broadway stage play, which was filmed in 2016, when Miranda, Leslie Odom Jr., and Anthony Ramos were still in the stage cast. It was originally intended to be released in cinemas for people who, for geographical or financial reasons, hadn't been able to see the live stage show. After the pandemic hit, it became an exclusive release for streaming platform Disney+. And despite the age of the recording, the fact it didn't debut on a streaming service until July 2020 means it technically fell into this year's Emmys eligibility window. Is it a film? No. Is it a TV series? No. Was it filmed in the last year? No. But it could well take home some prizes anyway. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist and Lovecraft Country have both been cancelled in recent months, but the timing of the two announcements prompted different reactions from the Emmys. HBO wisely waited until after the nominations voting had closed to announce that Lovecraft Country was being cancelled, and the series was rewarded with 18 nominations. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, on the other hand, was cancelled while voting was still taking place and only got 5 nods. This may not have been the only factor in their mixed fortunes. But it's fair to say cancelling a show during voting sends a message to the Academy that if the network can't even be bothered with it anymore, why should they? Having said that, the Emmys aren't always swayed by news of cancellations or cast departures. The previously announced exit of Regis Page from Bridgerton didn't harm his Emmy prospects as he's nominated for leading actor in a drama. If he can hold off the Crown's Josh O'Connor, he stands a decent chance of taking the award home. HBO's tally of 130 nods is just one ahead of Netflix's 129. But Netflix could well have the edge when it comes to the night's top category. Surprisingly, the most popular streaming service in the world has never won Best Drama Series. Even The Crown has never taken home the trophy. Yet if there was ever a year where that was going to change, this would probably be it.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe